cutscene. Oh my goodness, I honestly forgot how good the original cutscene was for Dvalin. But hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we're doing our first impressions of Dvalin. Now I know we're 4 weeks in, which is crazy to say, because can you believe it's already been 4 weeks of 4.3? You'd swear it's been like a millennia. But yes, we are indeed 4 weeks into 4.3, but there's still plenty of things to learn and things that are unexperimented with in the patch that I personally believe. And one of those cards is definitely Dvalin. Now Dvalin is super interesting, of course, being one of the weekly boss characters, so he's got a ridiculous moveset, of course. But overall, I'd really say he's got something really interesting, and while I wouldn't say he's the best, it's definitely something worth messing around with. So if you're new to these first impressions / day one guides, what we do is that we cover the entire kit. I teach you everything. I teach you everything about it, the tips, tricks, etc. Things that you want to watch out for inside of it, as well as some deck building tips, which surprisingly, and obviously the reason why it took so long for me to make this video is because I was waiting for a while to actually see what we could do with Dvalin. So without further ado, let's get started with some replays. Now, this is a kind of blast from the past day one. If you were there for the stream, this was something that was found out on day one thanks to fellow content creator Taki. They made, I call this like the Dvalin cleaner deck, which is Dvalin, Shann, Zhao, and we will jump into the match right away to do it, because I also want to do it sort of as an example, because I think this is a great way to showcase what Dvalin is truly capable of. So let's get right into it. Bye. So Dvalin's normal attack, 2 physical damage, nothing special. It is important that it is 2 physical damage because that is significant to the rest of his kit, and we're gonna get right past this. Now Dvalin has I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of skills, and we're gonna have to break them down individually, but trust me, they're not as bad as it looks. So let's get right into it and take a look at what Dvalin does. So you have your normal attack, which I already talked about, and now we have Tempestuous Barrage. Is the 3-cost elemental skill and deals 2 enemy damage, and the target receives Total Collapse. Total Collapse is sort of the status that kind of makes Dvalin's whole kit work, and I'm actually a really big fan of how this mechanic functions. So basically, if you get a Total Collapse applied by this or the many other skills, your physical damage or enemy damage taken by the affected character will increase by 2. Now here's the thing. 2 is a lot of extra bonus damage, especially considering that you're not actually factoring in any other bonuses from the other factors that can exist in this game. Because now I mentioned that 2 physical damage is a lot and not 1 enemy damage, is because if you were to hit someone with a normal attack while they have Total Collapse active, they're going to take 4 physical damage. That's a lot of damage. Now that gets even more crazy when you start talking about the rest of his kit, and sort of the thing where it kind of becomes that Dvalin is a little bit of a high roll character. Now I'm going to let kind of play out as the characters do their setup. But let's talk about Dvalin's Cleansing. Dvalin's Cleansing deals 2 enemy damage to the target character, and it is a prepare skill for the Perpetual Cleansing and Ultimate Cleansing. Perpetual Cleansing, prepare for 1 turn, deals 1 enemy damage, and oh, whoa, chill out, brother. That's my Storm Terror's lair. Get that out of here. Anyway, here, we'll chill out. Prepare for 1 turn, dealing an enemy damage, and prepare this ultimate cleansing. If there are no opposing characters on standby, deals damage to the active character instead. And I'm sure you can ascertain what that means, because basically what it means is that you're going to be hitting an off-field character, kind of similar to Thunder Manifestation as well as Wanderer. But the cool thing is that those 2 can only hit who they target. For Dvalin, if there's 3 characters on field, he will actually hit everybody. That's right, he's going for a Grand Royale Slam. So you do your first hit, which will, let's pretend I'm Dvalin active here. I will hit Nilou, and then the next turn I will hit the person who's next in line, so that's Oceanid, and then for the final ultimate cleansing I will hit Baiju, and respectively they will do 2 first, 1, and then 2. So that seems pretty weak. It's like, oh man, that's like cube skill with terrible. But you have to remember, this is animo damage. You can do a really cool thing called Swirl. And let me tell you, my friends, I'm sure you know how potent Swirl is, especially when doing it multiple times. So we'll get into that as we get past this turn. Now, of course, this thing does cost 5 dice, and of course, ironically enough, or not really ironically enough, Storm Terror's lair is really Dvalin's best friend. Being able to reduce, your 5 costs as well as your 4 cost burst is pretty huge, because Dvalin is just an expensive character. Like, you're gonna really suffer if you don't have things like ramp, anything like this to reduce your stuff. It really is a bit of a tough time. Now, I am gonna let this match kind of speed through as we can get closer to the actual part where you get to do silly stuff. But yeah, this deck was, like I mentioned, given to me by Taki on the first day, and we eviscerated some NPCs. And I also recommend this deck just for eviscerating NPCs in general, because it's really good at that. But anyway, yeah, basically all you need to do is just have Shenhe summon. You don't even need the icy quills realistically, especially because they have been changed so that they're a lot they get consumed a lot faster. But this is all you need, and then you press this button, and then you press this button, and then you win. GG's. But anyways, we will see that in action in just a moment. In the meantime, let's talk about Celestium Finale Termini, the very special burst. Who doesn't love this crazy burst that kicks you off the platform? And let me tell you, if you let Dvalin get this burst off, you better start panicking, because he will kick you off of the TCG board for sure. Yeah, we're just swapping around here, and we'll get this we'll get all these shenanigans rolling. I'll actually pause here so I can read the talent card too. But yes, deals 5 animo damage to the target character, which, yikes, that's a lot. But second, applies total collapse to all opposing standby characters. So that's right, you forgot about the little status here that makes everything do a ton more damage. Well, now it goes to everybody, and that is really bad. You do not want total collapse on all your characters, because keep in mind that other characters can take advantage of this too. I might have an example of it in the next match, but like Shenhe, you got your physical bonus as well. I'm going to be dealing 5 damage normals. That's kind of scary, with the weapon, of course. But Zhao 2, let's say you burst up where it deals 5 animo damage when he uses elemental skill plus 2. That's 7 damage. That's a lot of damage, guys. Anyway, continuing on, yeah, that's about it. It's just a listing for Terminated Falinite. And let's talk about talent card. So I should be playing it here. Yes, I am, because I get the reduction thanks to Storm Terror's Lair. Thank you, the love of my life. Anyway, yeah, Storm Terrors, Dvalin's talent card, which we will talk about in just a moment. But now, Total Collapse is on my opponents, and they're going to have a pretty bad time as soon as I start getting the game rolling. Now, we will talk about Rending Vortex, because Rending Vortex, I wonder if it is, I don't think it's a necessary card, because the actual proper, like, quote-unquote meta deck that works in Dvalin actually doesn't really use the card at all. But I definitely think it's still a factor to consider, when it comes to stuff like this. So let's get into Rending Vortex. So when Dvalin, who has this card equipped, is on the field, when Total Collapse is attached to the opposing active character is removed, apply Total Collapse to the next opposing standby character once per round. And of course, I think you can see where this is going, as in where Dvalin uses his ultimate cleansing over here. I'm just gonna call it ultimate cleansing, it's easier to pronounce it that way. Let's say I take I do the damage here, Total Collapse gets removed because it only has 1 usage, and now it moves on to Baizhu, and then it moves on to Nilou, but the skill attacks every next character. So I go a 1 and a 2 and a 3, and you're dead. That's basically it. It's incredibly good talent card. Of course, great for this kind of lawnmower deck, just to mow people over pretty much. If you feel like being funny. It's a really interesting talent card, and while I really don't see much, I won't really see much play from it. It's definitely something to consider when you're messing around with Dvalin. And yeah, that is basically the entire kit. Now, I do know, once again, it is a bit of a long-winded explanation, because there's just so much to do. Look at the animation, by the way, so sick. Goodbye, Oceanid, get out of here. We're about to mow these fools down, and I generally recommend this. Like, this is great for like AoE content. Kind of similar to how Shenhe SC was like a really easy crutch for like good, like easy content. You want to be funny with Dvalin. You can do stuff like this. And now I'm just gonna start. I actually just used Dvalin's cleansing, so I start punching, and then they are taking 2 damage swirls thanks to the booster. And now boom, and look at that. Nilou is the only one remaining, and I might die in the end phase, but it really doesn't matter because you, my friend, are dead. And that is sort of the Dvalin super combo that you will always dream to pull off. Will you always pull it off? Probably not, especially not in PvP, but it's really funny, and honestly a great way to mow down enemies, especially in PvE content. If they ever bring back a Forged Realm Templator that specifically relies on you trying to defeat the most amount of enemies, it is a really interesting thing to do. So I'll quickly go preview the deck. It's pretty standard, just like full ramp into doing stuff that makes Shenhe burst go faster, as well as yourself go faster. Nothing too crazy outside of like maybe Storm Terrors later. So yeah, this is the stuff. We will of course talk about the deck list later, but now let's move on to the deck list that actually has been able to win tournaments, and that is Shann Sauce. That's right, one of our top players from NA crafted this deck, and my goodness, it is a sight to behold. Kind of utilizing all the things from this patch's meta that really make deck stand out, being the Gilded Dreams magic engine, plus some of the other stuff that I really did not expect to happen here, and of course Timaeus buff, which is huge. So let's jump right in and let's talk about what Shann Sauce does. Now, I think the best way to explain this deck is kind of just the theory of that you have you have two characters who can deal a massive amount of damage with prepare skills, and your opponent just has to figure out a way to play around it pretty much. So let's go ahead and jump right into this match. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. You did not see that, my friends. Oh no, this is for another day. One moment. Go away. No.
I will lead us to victory.
No, you will not. You can do that tomorrow. Here it is. Yep. So this one is technically a defeat, but I think it's probably like the best match I have, trying to showcase what this deck can do. So let's go ahead and speed past this. There we go. There we go. Very nice. All right. So here is Bennett, Cube, Dvalin. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it is sort of the two characters who can just do like 5 billion damage, and Bennett Burst amplifies everyone to absolutely absolutely absurd degrees. So we'll get past this as we gotta rush out. We're gonna rush out our Bennett Burst, and then from here, we probably move into Cube and or Dvalin before kind of just finishing the job. Now, the interesting thing, and like the things I want to talk about Dvalin, is that while, again, like I mentioned earlier, he's not really the character who I really see have a ton of play. He is interesting in the fact that while he's a selfish hyper carry, you know, especially with his 5 cost skill, the status of total collapse kind of is a big deal, I'll be honest. Like, being able to boost your own damage to such a degree, you know, without having to do really anything extra, because like, why would you never 3 cost? Why would you never burst if you happen to have it? Like, it is a pretty good thing to have overall. And to an extent, I actually like, you know, I think, you know, Bennett Cube does carry this deck a little bit. You can swap in, you probably ideally would swap into Dvalin first to spread the pyro everywhere and really just shake up the other team. But like, Bennett Cube kind of does the job, but Dvalin is that cool end game cleaner, and so is Cube to an extent. Like, they're both good end game cleaners, you know, especially with what they have in terms of their capabilities. Of course, Cube has the revive, Dvalin has the bonus damage. It's really just a debate of what you think is the best. And I did actually I played a lot of these games where I'm actually okay with showing a loss, because it was I won't lie to you, it's very difficult to actually win with this deck. Of course, Shann, you know, top player, obviously can make it work and show you who's boss, but for me, I on purpose really tried to showcase Dvalin's upfront winning, because Cube actually ended up sweeping most of the games, but you know, that's still fine. Like, at the end of the day, like, this deck idea definitely does work. So we're just getting past this dice roll. Very nice, very nice. Do I high roll? That's okay. We will work with it. Of course, Storm Terror's Lair, not in my hand right now, but that is where Shiminawa's would come in to sort of save the day from my terrible dice rolls. So anyway, yeah, Bennett's just gonna do Bennett what Bennett does. Bennett talent overpowered. No matter what deck you put him in, he's just always gonna be great. Boom boom bop. Oh, I actually wonder what am I doing here? I probably passed dice into the next turn. Yeah, they're pushing Tartaglia. I'm just gonna heal and move it and move on. Yeah, he probably, yeah. Ouchie, rude. That's a lot of piercing. Tartaglia very strong. Shoutouts to the triple bow deck. A fun combination. Fun combination. And you see Dvalin is just kind of chilling back here. But I mean, that's kind of the point, you know, and that's a-okay, honestly. Not too much to say here, really. Getting past this dice roll once again. Even at 2 times speed, like, this is a pretty long match overall. There we go. Second Bennett talent, because why not? Who needs Storm Terror's Lair, am I right? Anyway, there we go. Timaeus coming down. Now I have Gamblers, and now I can drop this for fun. There we go. Probably wanted to drop Yayoi here so I could get a reduction on Gilded Dreams. I probably am thinking of playing Gilded Dreams, just not really calculating it perfectly. Also, am letting Child kill me because he does have Burst, so Burst would eviscerate both of these two.
Bring it on.
Of course, the player is smarter than that, so they're not going to do that right away. And they get a Gamblers in, but now I get to punch Child right in the face with Gamblers, and I haven't lost yet. Boink. Goodbye. And now it is Fischl versus Venti. And the healing, very nice. Wow, look at all those statuses, my goodness. A lot of stuff there. Ouch, rude and a slight annoyance. But I get to come back because I'm Cube. Here we go. Bonk, you're dead. And now it is Venti. And I get 5 more dice. Wonderful. Well, I could probably... oh yeah, no, Venti does kill me. Ouchie. Good call, which is a shame. I didn't get to use the poor princess. But this is where the endgame comes in. I think I get pretty close here. Fairly certain I do. Yep. Yayoi. Get a Dunyarzad. Drop Gilded Dreams. Get the 4, get a Tempest. Heal up. Yep, and then Venti finishes the job, which, you know, kind of poetic of Dvalin. Pretty much there, I think the issue was that I used Gilded, and I didn't properly count the dice. I thought I was trying to get 5, but that's not how it works. You need to play, you know, a combination of this and discard an artifact if I wanted that to actually happen. But regardless, this is still a pretty tight end game, and if I just reversed that order, I probably would have won in the end, but not this time. So, getting past that. And let Dvalin have the job finished by his old friend. GG's. Still a good game regardless. Kind of showcases the fact that you can just kind of mow people down with Bennett, especially sticking on Bennett. That was the really interesting thing I thought about when I saw this deck first play in tournament, which I'll actually link the VOD in the description so you guys can check out, you know, a proper victory, you know, with that deck. Of course, I may have not been able to do victory this time, but you can sit on Bennett for a long time, and being able to boost, you know, to the character that will just hit off field opponents is pretty interesting, you know. Anyways, that's kind of all I have to say about Dvalin. You know, he's an interesting character. There is, you know, some things that, you know, he's got some weird things, honestly, but I don't really see him like jumping out too much in the future. But always just this self-boosting with Total Collapse is definitely probably the most interesting part of his kit. And I do wonder if more animo characters slash, you know, physical characters, you know, well, there's only one, so maybe Eula will make use of Dvalin's powers, but you know, it is an interesting debuff, and I do wonder if more characters will get this kind of ability, you know, to buff slash debuff, you know, their opponents and buffing their damage. It is a really interesting thing to design their kit. Anyways, that is all for Dvalin. Let's go ahead and move on to the deck list. Here we go. So here is the NPC lawnmower, and then here is Shann's winning deck from the 5-0 matches. So that is pretty much all from me, but there's one more thing I'd like to talk about, and that is tournaments, because tournaments have had a recent change due to their schedule, because a lot of things are happening this month. So let's take a look. Week 4 has now been changed to GI Weekly Asia, January 13th, 1 p.m. JST. GI Weekly Europe, January 13th, 4 p.m. CET. GI Weekly America, January 14th, 3 p.m. EST. And GI Weekly 5 changes to on January 19th, 8 p.m. EST, January 20th, 6 p.m. CET, and Weekly Asia, January 21st, 12 p.m. JST. And then majors, we'll have also a change for one of the regions. We're still working on that right now, but yeah, a lot of things changed, you know, because there's just so much going on in the TCG, which is really cool, and I'm really excited to see all that. But of course, if you would like to go down and join our Discord and see all the tournaments going on our side, and, you know, just having watch parties and stuff as all the events occur, be there at discord.gg/GITCG. Anyways, that's all you have from me. Like, subscribe, and I'll hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.